And this is going to be kind of a different. We're kind of doing a different thing now. We're going to have panel episodes in between the times when me and Nikki will be doing our regular shows, which will be labeled classic in parentheses, so that way you know which ones are the classic episodes and which ones are panel. And these will be labeled panel too. I think I'll just label both of them. But so Nikki's not gone forever or anything like that. She is going to be coming back periodically. But for right now, we're going to be doing these panel episodes until we do another one with Nikki. So here with me, I have the Rasian Canadian. That doesn't work. Damn it, Kevin.
I'd like to protest from the get-go. We were supposed to do this podcast naked, and we all have. I'm disagreeing with this right off the bat.
It's duly noted. I'll put it in the suggestion box. Now, we also have Sabrina here with us.
Yeah, hey, how are you doing?
Hey. And we've got Benjamin. How's it going, man?
Hey, it's me. So are you saying that I'm not a classic?
You are always classic. You're the classicest.
Benjamin, you like New Coke. Nobody likes you, okay? Just
wow.
I'm kidding.
Like the clear Pepsi.
I'm Crystal Pepsi, so don't worry about it.
No, the worst one is Pepsi Blue, which they've come out with again.
What?
Pepsi Blue?
Yeah.
Looks like toilet duck.
Why?
What the fuck is that?
It's blue Pepsi, and it tastes like when you make a suicide where you put all the flavors, and it just gets wild.
Right. It's so funny. Good. It's so weird to me that became like a blanket statement, or blanket, just everybody knows that it's called a suicide. Who came up with that? Who was the first kid to go, it's a suicide? And why did we all pick up on it?
Yeah, and I guess he thought he was cool. He's like, man, drinking all of them at once, it's going to be suicide. Let's go.
And just every kid all over the country right at that moment was like, blink. Suicide. Yeah, that's what it should be called.
Yeah. Well, see, I got my vaccine, so they updated the chip that updates all that information, so we should get it quicker now.
That's what it is. That's it right there. But so today I wanted to just kind of give a little bit of background on all of us, since that's who you're going to be hearing from, from now on. And so this way you know who we are. And so it's going to go through just a little background in each one of us, and then we can talk about our deconversion stories, and whether we were born, were raised religious or not, or like how for each one of us. So.
We're doing an introduction and a deconversion, or just an introduction then a deconversion story, because it might take quite a while to go through.
I mean, like a brief introduction, and then and then go into the deconversion, or if just when you. I don't know. This is how you were raised,
Whenever you unfound God.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
It's like I really hate it when the Jehovah's Witness come to my door and they say something like, "Have you found Jesus?" It's like, oh God, you lost him again.
Right.
Like, put a bell around the guy's neck, for Christ's sake. He's right behind the grape over there, I bet.
Right. As if nobody's ever heard of Jesus. Hey, Kyle, what's up, man?
So I think, maybe what we should do next time someone comes to our door and they ask us about Jesus, we should act like we have no concept of the entire story at all. Let them explain it to you. Because when you really think about it without growing up with it, that story is insane.
Absolutely.
Right? It is really weird. The whole thing.
I will say, once I went to a meeting, they were having an interreligious meeting, so they had a whole bunch of different faith represented, and I walked in there as the token atheist, and I walked to the Christian, and he had this big wooden cross, and I looked at him and says, "What's with the T?"
And is your name Terry or something? What's that?
Yeah, no word of a lie, and I said that with a straight face, and no word of a lie. He spent about 20 minutes trying to explain Christianity to me right off the bat. I've never heard of this at all.
It's funny. There's this band I like, Bad Religion, has their symbol is like a cross that's like circled and crossed out. They call it the Crossbuster because it's kind of like Ghostbusters. And people are like, "Oh, what do you just hate Christians or something?" And I'm always like, "No, I'm just really anti-Roman torture devices." I mean, all torture devices, really, but
right.
So it was like, yeah, Jesus would probably actually like that symbol. Just saying, he would like it. It's like I'm not thrilled about those things either.
I
But,
know those same people will get offended by an anti-gun shirt. So
Yeah,
that's true.
It's the same people. Did you tell them, so, did you hear something about do you have some new information about the women's cervix? And say, really? Didn't he crucify Jesus in one of those? No, it's a crucifix. That's the same thing.
That's funny. Today.
Yeah.
Crucifix cervix.
Oh, so you're just going to go there. Okay. Got it.
We discussed the whole thing at the beginning.
That's right. So, Kevin, let's go ahead and start with you. So you are Canadian.
Start with the worst one of the bunch.
No. He's not just Canadian. He's French Canadian. There's a difference.
Correct,
There's
sir.
a huge difference.
If you're not
I
French,
didn't know that.
that's what it is. Yes, I am French Canadian. I was born and raised in Quebec. I lived there for most of my life. I've been in British Columbia now for about 20 years. I'm not going to go through the whole deconversion story because that might take a while. But what actually happened is I started doing some activism that was political movies that were shown for people for free and trying to discuss the subjects because I thought there was a lack of conversation on these subjects. And eventually that translated into my deconversion. I should say more my active atheism. And I'm also one of the hosts of the Left of the Valley podcast. There we go.
Cool. All right. Oh, that's awesome. So you didn't have really a big, like a mind fuck moment, like where you're just like, oh shit.
Oh, I did. It was just spread over many years. I had several like steps, but until it took me, because I'm an idiot, it took me quite a while to put it all together and say, oh my God, or
right.
I'm actually quite vocal about atheism and humanism.
Good. No, that's awesome. Yeah, we need to be more vocal, because I can't tell you how many times I've just like bit my tongue just because literally everybody in the fucking room would have gotten pissed at me if I was like, yeah, I don't believe that, But all right, cool. So we'll go counterclockwise. We'll go across. So Sabrina, where what's your story?
My story. Well, I was born and raised in British Columbia, so I'm not French Canadian, but I am Canadian. I was pretty much brought up in a non-religious household. I did go to church as a child, but at about 12, I realized it was kind of a joke, so I stopped going.
Huh. Oh, that's cool.
Short and sweet.
So you didn't have the whole like the household religion being pushed on you or anything like that.
We had someone come knocking at the door when I was about 5 and asked if my mom wanted to send us to Sunday school, and she said sure, so she sent us to Sunday school, and that's where I started going to church, and I went to church until I was 12, 13, something like that.
Let's face it, any parent that sends their kid to Sunday school is because it's free babysitting. That's all.
I was gonna say, yeah. You're gonna take her? Like, really? I can just.
She always said she was spiritual, but not religious.
Yeah.
Oh, those are fun. I love that. And
physical, but not in shape.
Right. That's so interesting. I'm always fascinated by folks that like weren't raised in like religious households, just because my experience was so closed in and very different from that. Like I was homeschooled and everything. I wasn't even allowed to talk to anybody, if my parents didn't know their parents specifically from church. That's how like closed in and bubbled in we were. So it was just, it was really weird to even like talk to people that weren't Christians. And I'd be like, it would like make me nervous when I would talk to them, because I'd be like, they're going to brainwash me. I can't be here for too long. I gotta get in and get out. It's like,
someone's warned me. They're turning the frog.
I read the Bible even at 6, 7 years old. They were telling us the story about faith. I think I've said this before. And I said, what are you talking about? Of course I believe. And they're like, well, no, you don't. Because if you did, you could move mountains. So they're gaslighting me at 6 years old, right?
I hate people like that.
They just see one mountain be moved,
right?
Put in the middle of Missouri or something.
Yeah. Misery.
Right in the middle there. Just let it drop somewhere. There we go.
Right.
proof.
Just put it from here to there.
Or-
And all
or
you need is a
maybe-
mustard seed.
Maybe you did move a mountain just somewhere else.
Right.
And how far did it move?
All the mountains on Mars are like fucked up right now, and nobody can figure out why. Like,
Because if
nobody's
it's like the tiniest like millionth of a
Yeah.
bit, you're like, I did move it. Prove it now. You prove it. Don't you have faith?
Faith calls erosion. Okay.
to start looking on your phone. I'm sure there was an avalanche somewhere. Hold on.
There
Ah,
had
here
to
we go.
be,
Here we
right?
go.
That was me. That was me.
The rocks that fell in that place, Boulder.
Earthquake, I started that.
Right. Just with
That was
your
me.
hardcore faith.
Threw a mustard seed at it, and the whole thing just fell.
There you go.
Yeah.
Kind of funny. She said earthquake. Did you guys ever hear the story of the old actress Lily Tomlin?
Mhm.
Lily Tomlin, like I'm talking years ago before any of us were born, I think. She played in a commercial where she played Mother Nature. And in the commercial, she says something, you don't mess with Mother Nature, and she stomps the ground, and the camera shakes like an earthquake, right? And apparently, when one of the commercials aired, there was an actual earthquake at some point,
Nice.
and people thought there was something to
That's
this.
awesome.
You know, it was really Mother Nature, and apparently it's like, oh my god.
So what we've learned here is Lily Tomlin is God. That's what I'm
Basically.
hearing.
Yeah. See, it's
Okay.
not Alanis Morissette. It's Lily
Nope.
Tomlin.
No.
Right.
She's just the female version of Jesus. She's the daughter.
Gotcha.
Yeah, oh.
The daughter and the Holy Ghost.
Mhm.
And they're like one and the same, but different. Yeah.
That's right.
Yes.
It's the
Does that
Trinity.
make sense?
Yeah.
I've heard an analogy that basically said, it's a bit like water, solid, liquid, or vapor.
Mhm.
Or somebody said it also the egg. It can be the solid shell, the yolk, and I think it was something else.
The egg white.
The egg
Right.
white.
But it's all part of the egg. Yeah.
Yeah.
The water
One
one
egg.
was what I used. Yeah. Back in the day.
It's all stupid. Whatever.
Yeah, it's nonsense, absolutely. And it's not even really in the Bible. It's just they and there's part like I actually just had a conversation online that just basically caused everybody to just start fight. I was like in a group where not a group, but it was like a Christian person's post, and they were all Christians that were commenting.
Mhm.
And I put in the post, I was like, the problem is that there's no way to tell which interpretation is more accurate than anybody else's. Right. And there's no measuring stick to put up to each interpretation and go, here's how we know mine's more correct than yours, because it's just everybody thinks they're right. And there's no way to tell who's more correct than anybody else. And so I was like, for example, I was like, Jesus says, why do you call me good? For no one is good. Only God is good. Right. And then like one person was like, oh no, like that was just him referring to his human self. Because no one is human. And then another person was like, no, he actually didn't say that he wasn't good. He said, and then they all just started arguing with each other. And I just kind of walked away. I was just like, all right,
You guys
my
have a-
job is done here.
This is what 40,000 different types of Christianity. This is why.
Yep.
Because everybody's got their version of Jesus.
Right. And there's no way to tell. There's, and it's like, but in my doctrine, we think this, and it's like, but in somebody else's doctrine, they think something different. And it's like, why is the Holy Spirit fucking with us, man? Because if we're all fervently seeking Christ, then the Holy Spirit's supposed to like be the one that clarifies this shit. Right. And he's just giving different messages to everybody simultaneously. Give me a fucking break.
Speaking of the Holy Spirit, we should let Ben introduce himself.
Yeah, wow.
Ben.
Yeah.
I forgot you were here. What's up?
Wow.
No, it's-
It's going to be like that, is it?
Yeah, I worship at the altar, man. Absolutely. That
yeah.
sounded really bad.
Yeah.
So what's your story, Ben?
Oh, okay. So, let's start with this. I have 9 siblings.
Oh,
What?
When people find this out, there's one of two questions. They're like Catholic or Mormon.
Basically, right? Yeah.
And I'm
that
like
was-
Mormon,
Yeah.
because that's the case here. So basically, yeah, I mean, my story really isn't that big of a deal either. I was a teenager when I was like, you know what? None of this adds up. This is some bullshit. Like, and it comes to like, especially in the Mormon religion, it's like women have power, but they don't. Like, the man's in charge. The man's going to become God of his own planet. and he's just going to have all these extra wives, and they just get to hang out and do what they're told. Like, it's not cool, you know? So I'm like, you know, like this angry, crazy teenager. I'm like, screw all this noise. And so I stopped. But I did find myself for like a few years after defending the Mormons. Like, they're good people. They really are. Until you really start to like take apart that hardcore brainwashing. And you're like, you know what? No, these people are all bastards. Like, flat out. Like, they're the meanest, nice people you'll ever meet. They're so nice. So nice to you, but they are not kind like in real life. Like, they'll play nice.
Right. They're polite. They're politely assholes. Like
they're the politest assholes you'll ever meet in your entire life. Like,
so it's a bit like when you're meeting somebody from the South and they say, "Oh, bless your heart," and you all know that deep down inside they're basically, "Oh, this guy's."
Yeah, exactly. When you as soon as they walk away, they're talking shit. You know what I mean? Like
when they say, "I love you to death," but you know,
let me tell you what I really think.
No. That is too obvious. Like, when you're talking Mormons, they're even better at throwing that shade. Where you're like, did you just compliment me or tell me I was the worst person you've ever met? I'm not sure.
They can just ninja your brain.
Yeah, you're like, I'm real confused right now. Like, I don't even know what to do. I don't know how you feel about me. It seemed nice, but when I really digest it, not so much.
Because like, oh, they think, you know, I love him to death. You know, they're going to say the most horrible thing afterwards. You know, oh, I love death, but he beats puppies.
Yeah, and probably eats babies. You know, because they do that. You know, they do that. They're cooking while they're doing it. They do that totally because they're always cooking when they.
As I like to say, messing with people, I'm always like, I love babies, but I could never eat a whole one.
It's like a rotisserie, you know. Like, you can get like halfway through, and you're like,
yeah, you need some friends. Just carve a little bit out, you know.
Yeah. So when you get a parent, they just hand you the baby. Say, no, it's okay, I've eaten already.
Well, yeah. I gotta say, I am fascinated by Mormonism because the culture seems very familiar, like the way that the people behave and stuff like that. But as far as like what the religion actually is, I'm fucking confused. Like,
well, I mean, so are a lot of them. There's more. Okay, so for like the longest time, there was like doctrine that's not actually doctrine that people believe is doctrine because it's just cool stories. Like, and nobody knows, and they changed the story. Like Joseph Smith translated the Bible by using a magic hat.
Right.
Then they changed it to this Urim and Thummim, whatever magic glasses he used.
Because he was using a magic glass while looking into his hat.
Yeah, right? It was a magic hat at first. Then they changed it to magic glasses.
So they have one now.
Okay, so it just developed.
Right.
Because I heard he did both.
It's like magic hat is some old bullshit. No one's going to believe this. Let's change it to
but
this.
The glasses,
this is a good idea.
So the guy's translating the book going,
right. Yeah. No, he like threw rocks in a hat and the letters appeared on the rocks. Wow. And it's crazy. But Mormons are really good at like spinning the story. So like when I was growing up, it was very important to go on a Mormon mission, like go out, spread the word. And they're like, you have to do it. You have to, everyone is required to do it. But now with the new generation, with these kids, they're like, you know what? If you want to, you can. Because they know who they're talking to. If you told these kids nowadays that they had to do it, they would rail against it.
Right? Oh, that's funny.
So they know how to play the game. They're like, you know what? If you want to. And they're like, yeah, I do. Got to prove my God.
Yeah. Because that's the thing.
Look so bad on your resume.
Yeah.
And they moved the age from 19 to 18 because kids were coming out and going to college for 1 year and stopping.
Of course.
So they could go on their mission. Now they changed to 18 so that way you can come fresh out of high school. Go straight on your mission.
Your religion real quick.
They took the military's kind of way. You can go like in the U.S. anyway, y'all on the two corners there. The Canadian folks.
There's not active recruitment for the military in Canada. Just saying.
What's the age? What age can you go?
18, I think.
Yeah.
I
18.
think
See,
it's the same,
I think it's
but
the same.
there's not recruiters don't text us at 18 and ask us to join the army.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Oh, they're texting me for my kid who's 18 now.
Yeah, that's
all the
crazy.
time.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that existed. I just
Well-
learned that this year, and that just like, what? No.
and you can go in when you're 17. Like, you don't even have to be 18. Like, my buddy went in when he was 17.
Yeah, if your parents sign off on it, then you're good
Mhm.
to go.
Oh
Yep,
my
that's
God,
it.
No.
You can go die, and you can't drink a fucking beer.
You can't even buy cigarettes anymore.
You
Right?
can buy a
That's
beer
true.
You're
yeah.
21.
at 18 in certain provinces.
Oh, that's right. They changed it to 21 for cigarettes.
Yes.
Really?
I
Well,
forgot
it's
they did that.
19
All
to drink
tobacco products.
5 cigarettes here.
Yeah.
If I was 17 about to turn 18 and they did that shit, I would have been fucking pissed.
So bad.
You know? I'd have
That
been
happened to me
Yeah, but
here.
Brent, that's exactly it. So now you're pissed. You're in the military. They put a gun in your hand. Boom.
Okay,
just
see-
kill everybody.
But I think that if you turn 18 and you join the military, that should give you like a free pass. Like your military ID should get you to buy booze. Like, look, I'm in the fucking military.
Well, it kind of did, like, because he was 17, he got his military ID. We went out to clubs, and and we were all the couple of friends of ours, like, we were 21, so we were able to get in, no problem. But he was like younger than us, and so they were just like, "Yeah, you're cool, man. Don't worry about it." And they let him drink and everything,
Yeah,
and we
like,
went
just
to
don't be a
several
jerk.
places.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and he did end up,
And
but she's
military
17.
in huge high regard
Yeah.
in
U.S.
the
holds the
States.
military.
Much
very
like we
high.
don't. I
Well,
mean, I thank us.
they're
I
held
guess
in high
we
regard, but
yes, we
It's
respect
almost,
our military,
it's
but it's
worship in the
different.
States.
Yeah, it's you don't see people
You don't see
like
proud
thanking us for
Canadian
our
military
service
families.
or my
don't see
son's
that.
military. I mean, I have family that's in the military and I'm proud of them for it, but
Yeah.
it's not. It's just not the same.
Yeah, it's really
I mean-
really overplayed in the States, I think.
But I'll tell
Yeah,
you something.
well-
Our troops are actually better trained than yours.
I wouldn't
Oh,
doubt it, honestly.
Wow.
I mean,
100%.
but also, American, Canadian, the Canadian military isn't going and putting their shit all over the goddamn world like we are. You know?
You know,
We're just going to post up here in your place.
You know how hard it is to bring down a battle moose in somewhere in Kosovo or something like that? It scares the shit out of the population. So this big thing with no.
If I'm not mistaken,
It's not the moose, it's the geese.
The geese.
Those motherfuckers, dude. Kevin, I think
Cobra chickens.
you shared a video, and
Oh,
it
yeah.
was fucking hilarious. It was like, and I swear it was like police officers, right? That were all like
It was a bunch of military guys. It was a bunch
military. They were military. Okay.
of- yeah, they were military.
I don't think I've seen this video.
It was a
And-
couple weeks ago, and this goose, this Canadian goose, comes in and just starts going after.
Oh
them.
yeah, you
And
don't
it's
want to
just
get
like-
near a goose that's nesting. No way.
I
They actually-
swear.
They're
Yep.
nesting geese near my old office, and there's signs up telling people to be careful.
Right? Yeah, dude. That thing seemed vicious. It was like the fucking Affleck duck on steroids. Just going, I will fuck your face, motherfucker. Come on. Get out of my way. You're in my spot. Whatever. It was just like, holy shit. Dude,
It's
what
like
is
really
the
happening?
Affleck duck jacked up on PCP, ready to go.
I
Yes.
don't remember where I saw that, but I laughed so hard the first time I saw it. It was a comment from an immigrant that says, we have all these dangerous hawks and stuff like that, but those cobra chickens,
Yeah,
those cobra chickens, he named it a cobra chicken,
Yeah.
and I said it's
That's where they
such
got
a
their name.
perfect term for it because they have to hit at you.
Oh, yeah.
They got their necks all coming up like, yes, I love it.
Wings and they're hitting at you is perfect. The cobra chicken.
And I can't think of the type of bird we have here, but it's funny because like it's this little it's so
Bald eagle.
small.
It's called
It's
a
a
bald.
what?
no, ignore
No,
them.
no. This bald eagles are fine. They stay the fuck away. They just fly around. They don't really fuck with anybody. But this, I think it's like, I can't remember what it's called. I think it's like the shit. I can't remember, but it's like this really territorial bird, and it makes its nests in like it likes to put its nests inside of hedges and stuff. Hedges that are just like right by the sidewalk, and you'll just be walking by, minding your own business. And then this little bird, it's only about like, 6 inches, like, you know what I mean? It's like real small. And it just like pops out. It's like, and it just attacks the fuck out of you if it's got a nest around and there's kids in it. And it doesn't, it's just like, gotta protect it. And, you're just like, what the fuck? I'm not doing anything. I'm just here.
But Brent, I got to question your visual representation of 6 inches.
It's like,
6 inches.
Is that what you? Is that? Yeah.
I have no idea what 6 inches is. I imagine it's, so I don't know,
Big, right?
somewhere around here. 6 whole inches right there.
I was going to keep my mouth shut.
When it comes to measurement, you have to ask the woman for that because all guys have their own way.
This isn't a video medium, y'all. Like,
Imperial's
the live
confusing,
stream,
so y'all metrics can figure it out.
Yeah.
like,
I saw a post on Facebook today that said, once the boomers are gone, you guys want to switch to metric?
Yeah.
There's your chance.
Yeah. Kilometers are a lot easier to measure than miles.
dude, it took me forever to try to figure out like our system, our America, like this to that, like as far as like figuring out different things. Like I hate our system. I wish we would go to like the metric system because
For the most part, Canadians still measure themselves in feet and inches and weigh themselves in pounds.
That's true.
really, oh okay.
Yeah, I can tell you how tall I am in feet and inches, and I can tell you how much I weigh in pounds. I couldn't tell you in centimeters and
Right.
kilograms.
Right off the top, you have to get it off. You don't have it. And the same for me because, of course, Canada is so close to the U.S. The proximity just.
And didn't we switch to metric late 60s, 70s, something like that?
I think it's in the 50s or 60s.
So
it's before we were born. That's for sure.
yeah,
But
our grandparents and parents grew up with the.
And of course,
but you do your temperatures in Celsius,
Yeah.
which is wildly confusing.
No, for you.
Yeah, to me, that's what I'm talking about. I'm me.
It's very simple. The Fahrenheit system is based on the movement of mercury, right?
Mhm.
Well, the Celsius system is based on water. So at 0, it's the freezing point. At 100, it's the boiling point.
Mhm.
It's that simple. So when you reach 0 degrees, that's the temperature the water freezes.
yeah,
Instead of 21 or
32.
it's 32.
32. So
And that's where water freezes.
yes,
water
but in
freezes
Celsius,
zero.
it's
Oh,
0.
I see what you're saying. But we're made of water.
Exactly.
And at 100,
And that's why
at
it's
100
fucking
degrees,
cold at 0 degrees.
at 100 degrees Celsius, that's when water boils.
Oh, okay.
It's,
So you don't want to get that temperature. That temperature
no,
is
no.
bad. That's bad.
37.
you need some really big sunblock when you get 100 degrees Celsius. Yeah.
Okay.
A really hot day is like 40.
But see, that tripped me out. You all like, it's beautiful weather out here. It's like 40 degrees or like 30
I would
something.
get if it was
I'm like,
40.
fucking what? Like, what are you
40 degrees, you're hiding in your fridge.
Yeah, 18 to 24. 24 is pushing hot.
if you're using Celsius, you shouldn't be allowed to say degrees. It should be a different word. So we know.
Kelvins. Let's all measure in kelvins. Degrees
No.
Kelvin.
There you go.
It's minus 273 kelvins.
Exactly.
Absolutely zero.
There we go. So at least I know what you're saying. It's like, otherwise, I was just like, fucking what, dude? Really? Is it that cold in fucking Canada? Holy shit.
Oh, yeah, of
You
course,
guys
but-
really are like used to this. Like, holy shit.
You put a scarf on. Minus 273.
For you. I was in shorts today, and it was only like, 18 degrees maybe?
But yeah, that's summer weather.
No,
Jeez.
it's not. Don't listen to him.
See, I don't know. I don't know what that is. I have to like do a math equation to figure it out.
18 degrees is what? 65, 67?
Yeah. That's
Oh,
like-
okay.
That's
not bad.
Oh,
Plus
shorts
32.
weather.
That's nice.
It's like
That's
times
okay.
2 plus something. Or,
it's like
Plus 32.
63 degrees Fahrenheit here.
Yeah. So,
That's a nice
that's the temperature we had
So-
here today. So, yeah, I was wearing shorts. So what?
Mine was like
Yeah.
85 Fahrenheit today. It was fucking hot. And it's humid as fuck.
That's
I
Florida.
hate it. And it's all of a sudden just happened. And now it's going to be the rest of the goddamn year.
Ugh,
Really?
really?
Pretty much. I mean, until you get like till about December to sometimes in December, but like really, it's not till January, February that it starts to cool down.
Yeah,
Florida's fucked.
we literally in Texas have had Christmas days that were 85 degrees.
Oh, I always saw this, but it's like we used to put on like it would be like in the 80s, and my parents would turn the fucking when I was a kid, they would turn the AC down to like 50 or 60 or something like that, and then have a fire in the fireplace because it's Christmas. You know, that's
Right, it's gotta be cold. It's gotta be a fire.
We don't even get snow at Christmas where we are.
Well, yeah, but
really in Canada.
Hold on.
What?
Yes,
You
for real.
gotta remember here.
I can't remember the last time it snowed.
Vancouver is on the Pacific West Coast, and we're
Northwest.
actually in a rainforest in a valley.
Yeah.
So this is the only part of Canada that's like got the kind of temperature that's in
I know.
Seattle.
That's why
Well,
so
yeah,
many people want to live here.
Yeah, but when you say in Canada,
That sounds awesome.
Here, as in where we live.
Oh, yeah, but
I
the
did not
audience
say
doesn't
Canada.
know that.
We told them we lived in British Columbia.
This is what I have to put up.
We're over there.
So where do you guys live? What's going on here? Like now it's we're in British Columbia. Now you're not.
It's the most desirable place to live in the world.
2.5 hours north of Seattle.
Oh, okay.
Vancouver.
Okay. All right.
Anytime.
That makes sense. Driving or flying? We're going the speed of sound? Or what are we doing here? I don't know. I can't tell.
From here to Florida would take, I think it's
4 or 5 hours.
No. The flying from here to Florida is like quite a long time, actually.
No, it can't be.
Yeah, I think it's 9 or 10 hours.
No,
That actually sounds about right. I mean,
go to Mexico.
It's a 7-hour flight to Montreal.
It's 6 hours to Montreal.
Exactly. So you think about it, Florida's on the same coast as Montreal.
Yeah,
but south.
Okay, I have to Google it.
I've looked it up because I want to go to Disney World.
Yeah, you should. It's a lot of fun. It's
Here's
it's
they're
nice.
opening again.
Oh, they're open. Oh, we've been open. I don't know who's been acting like we haven't been open for the past 6 months, other than DeSantis.
Okay, so according to Google, I could walk to Vancouver in 30 days.
Woohoo!
Yeah, to fly to Miami from Vancouver, 8 hours, 7 hours and 55 minutes.
See, and I still got 9 or 10. So,
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Christ. Wow.
Plus time changes. So actually, by the time we land, it's 3 hours ahead as well.
Well, I think we're very off base because I really don't think that was the point of the entire show about how to. Welcome to the All Travel Show.
Here's how long.
We're gonna want to know these things.
Should we just call it the off-topic show? Because
hey, that's all right.
Unless you want to bring back the topic, right? There's your chance. I'm giving you a window here
to bring in a topic.
To bring you back into topic.
Oh,
wow.
Okay.
No,
I'm bad at this. I just go with flows. Every time there's a flow, I go with it.
Okay. Well, somebody pick us up. Okay. I gotta ask. Today, Facebook upheld the no Donald Trump policy.
Yay.
Yeah. All right.
Some thoughts?
Yes.
Did you see that? Did you see that he was trying to sneak onto like fake Twitter account or like Twitter accounts that were like not
really?
I'm not surprised.
Oh yeah, that was funny when he was doing that. It was like random people. There was fake accounts that were blatantly. Well, there's no way you could prove it was actually Donald Trump or maybe someone just screwing around.
Right.
But it really looked like him. Like,
yeah. It was, and it was today. I saw they did like one that was like DJT desk was the at DJT desk, and it got flagged so fast because everybody's like, "No, that's him, dude. That's him." Like, he's too obvious, man.
It's so sad to see this man reduce this so much nothing, and just because of social media. However, I will say
that's all it took.
This panel. Okay, first of all, people think it's a Facebook panel. It's an independent panel that Facebook kind of hired. Okay, they're kind of scolding Facebook for the unlimited or indeterminate amount of time they're banning Trump. So they're basically kind of saying, I'm not sure Facebook should be doing that. So Facebook might revisit this in the future. But for the moment, they're upholding their decision. But there's a few posts that Trump really broke the rules of the contents they're supposed to have. So that's why.
But I really question how independent they are if Facebook is the one paying them.
Of course.
Fair enough.
Like, if that's their money source, they're like, you know what, we're going to give you a little grief to look like we're doing our job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not enough that you stop paying us money.
Right. So they're gonna be seeking to do the interests of the company that's paying them.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's what pretty much any of us would do. It's what you do at your job, right? Like,
Yeah.
you don't say certain things to your employer because, I mean, like, I'm not openly talking about being atheist at my job because I'm fairly certain the majority of the people, especially here in the South, are some variety of Christian, and it will not go over well.
Here, and it's not, well, the owner of my company's Christian. Their kids go to Christian school. I ain't saying a word. They don't know I do this on the side.
Right? I do. I don't care. I'm done. I'm done caring. I have a button, a big ass button that I got from Sarah Ray from the atheist community of Polk County.
Mm-hmm.
And she, it says atheists for equality, and it's like all rainbow colored and stuff, and it's big. It's fucking big. And I'll leave it on my backpack, and because I take my backpack into work, and I just set it on the table, and it's so funny to see people's expressions change. Because I'm pleasant, right? I'm always like, "Hey, how's it going?" And they're like, "Yeah, I'm like doing it," and then they can see the button, and then their demeanor completely changes. And it's so funny how that works.
How could you be pleasant and an atheist at the same time?
Exactly.
That's not possible.
Unzip yourself.
Every atheist is supposed to be angry because that's why you've turned your heart against God, was because of anger that Satan introduced to your heart.
Right.
While you being angry and being pleasant at the same time, you pick your teeth with a baby bone.
Yeah.
You're like Scar from fucking Lion King.
That's right.
Yeah, have you seen that theory, though? Because lions will eat other lions. That skull that he has in the movie is most likely Mufasa's skull.
Yeah.
That's creepy. That's kind of beyond what I thought Disney would do.
Yeah, well, it gets even better because if you look at one of the other animated shows, which was actually Hercules, he actually poses with this lion skin that has a scar. It's actually Scar himself, but it's just
Scar.
skin.
Yeah.
Oh no, shit! Really?
Just a fun animator nod. Yeah.
It's one of these Easter eggs, right? And even when he puts the skin down,
You know what I found out?
What's that?
Dude, get this. Did you remember when because you had the animators that were like fucking with shit with the Little Mermaid cover and stuff like that, where you could see all the little things? I found out that it was all bullshit about the one that was in Aladdin where he says, "Oh, good teenagers, take off your clothes."
Oh, yeah.
I've heard that.
It would just sound like, but I swear I remember that when I was a kid and we watched the movie and we turned it way up.
There's like
And I
that
was
little
like,
point
"You
where
said
he
it."
whispers something, and the theory is that that's what he's saying. All the teenagers take off your clothes. That's what Robin Williams actually voiced into the microphone. There's no like solid proof. There'd be receipts.
It wasn't.
Let's be real. If it existed, someone would have pulled the audio by now. It'd be all over the internet.
You can kind of hear how you hear it if you turn like.
Is it a bit like pareidolia, or when you're playing these records backwards and it's talking about Satan and all that stuff? It's the same kind of branch, I guess.
Yeah, you kind of just hear something because your brain tries to do that.
Yeah.
It's like noises, faces, like this is what we do.
And if you're told that this is what he said, and then you listen to it,
then you
can hear
every
it.
time.
Yes,
exactly. That was what it was, because he actually says something different, and I can't remember exactly what he said. But you can, if you hear it again now, it's almost like, oh, I can hear how that would have sound like. I can hear how that sounded like him saying that, but it's clearly not that. It's this. It's amazing. I was so fucking blown away by that.
But I think it's just a fine example of how, especially religious people, how they trick their brains to kind of give you what you want. Like when you feel like you got a feeling from the spirit, your brain is doing that to you to give you what you're after.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I remember it was funny because like I was talking to somebody and they were like, but I remember that time that you said you felt the Holy Spirit and it was like this thing that came over you, you know, and it was almost like, and I described it almost like a beam into my head that gave me like goosebumps and stuff, right? And I was like, yeah, I did feel that. I did totally feel that. But the weird thing is that I also felt that at a fucking NoFX concert, who was an atheist band. Yeah. That, you know, but we were all there. We were all cheering on the band. We were all excited to be there. You know, it's all, you know, it was like my favorite band, and I had the same exact feeling. So that's weird that the Holy Spirit would do that.
If there was a beam of Holy Spirit that came on me and gave me a goosebump, I'd be, ew, get off me. Jeez.
Right. Seems a little rapey.
Gooey. It's gooey.
Come on. Social bubble, man.
Can you please ask first next time?
Now I got to clean my face. I got to, you know, come on.
Feels like
it's sticky.
It's sticky.
That's so funny.
But you know, going back on the subject, there is so much like that. But her species is fantastic at doing, you know, finding patterns even if there is no pattern. I mean, I spent a good part of the evening tonight arguing with an ex-girlfriend, and she's completely convinced that, you know, COVID is the vaccines are there to kill us somehow. And it's like, and I'm trying to walk her through it, like step by step. Not telling her, of course, oh, you're wrong and here's the facts, because that doesn't work. But trying to do epistemology and try to get her to realize, how did you arrive to this conclusion? And the conversation is absolutely fascinating to some point. At which point they go, you know, she really thinks that, you know, COVID was invented in a lab in order to facilitate the vaccine distribution for us, done by the 1% to shorten our lives for, we're not exactly sure why at this point, but she's sure that's
what? I never understand the goal. Like, they're always talking this shit.
Online. But it can't be found now because they've pulled it all.
Yeah.
Something has actually been scrubbed from the internet, and screenshots don't possibly exist.
Exactly, right?
Right.
She's talking about the virus has been patented as a virus.
Yeah, that's it. The patent, and they pulled the patent.
I was, well, did anybody screenshot this? Did you see the patent? You know,
right.
And I said, why would they remove the patent? Why would they do that? And she can't answer. And then they jump into another reason. Well, you know,
and what's the point?
Yeah, that's
what's the point of all of this?
What's the point? And she says, you know, it's to shorten our lives. I said, well, you know,
why?
If let's say, for example, there is a cabal of 1% that really tries to shorten our life. Why would you go through the trouble of creating a virus that you can lose control of to give you a vaccine that's hard to develop? It's very complex at this point. If they really want to poison you, they could just sprinkle it in your food or whatever. You know,
the water,
all the way
water, which they've done before. They have poisoned water supplies to see what would happen to the population before.
Yeah, or you just make government agencies to help people and then essentially sterilize a large percentage of their population, like they did with the Native Americans. So,
yes. I mean, if they're really looking out to kill you, why didn't they just shoot you? It saves a lot.
Well, that's the other thing too. Yeah, like let's just go. Let's round some people up. You know, it's fine.
It's just so weird. The imagination of these people is just phenomenal.
But you know what? That's the funny thing is, because the funny thing about it is these people are not stupid. It's actually, when you see these kind of patterns, it's actually, you're pretty smart as a person because you're seeing these patterns. You're just fooled by it. And of course, she was referring to a particular website. And I was looking at the website, and the website is very clever because it cites real numbers from the WHO, a real statement by Dr. Fauci. But in between these real facts, they pepper misinformation. So it's actually done very cleverly, you know, because it's these are the real numbers by WHO. Yeah, of course it's real. But then the next statement is it's genetic manipulation. No, that's not real.
Yeah, it's meant to guide you. It's to guide your brain into their little rabbit hole.
It's a compliment sandwich of bullshit.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the
exactly
that makes it credible. And then,
Yeah.
of course, if
Or
they
seem
if they
credible,
report
yeah.
one thing that's credible, then the entire site.
And they don't actually fact check any
Exactly.
of it.
Right. Yeah, one thing's true, so all of it is
all of
true.
True.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Well, I
if you,
checked the
if
numbers,
you believe
though,
in
so-
one fairy tale, why not another?
Mhm.
Exactly. Yeah, it's so frustrating because I've gotten into this debate with a couple of people, and I got so pissed because people they straight up gaslit me. And the sad thing is and I want to say it's because I'm such a good skeptic that I'm always questioning my reasoning. But it worked. It tricked
give you
me,
that.
man. Like they got me, man, and it
Yep.
pissed me off to no fucking end. Because once I finally went back, I'm just like, yeah, you guys are all full of shit, and here's how I know that, and posted,
That's exactly the thing, because all four of us here on this panel tonight are people that are actually used to questioning, and we've kind of been taught and drilled this into us. But the average person out there is not like this. The average person out there doesn't question twice, what they hear on whatever source. They're hearing Fox News, and it's on the news. Of course, it has to be true, right? They don't
Right.
they don't start questioning. They don't have a baloney detector like the rest of us usually have. We're into this on a regular basis. We can kind of see it, but the average Joe who just goes to work and comes back home and has dinner and then watches a baseball game, they don't think like that. And it's not something that could just be taught with a snap of the finger either.
And it's so sad because, literally on that channel, they were saying that kids wearing masks outside was equal to a teacher beating a child.
Oh, yeah. Well,
and that you should report them.
I've also heard that masks are mind control, and I'm like, how? How is that controlling your mind? It's just a piece of cloth over your face.
But you didn't
get
know
the cloth yourself. You don't even have to buy it from anybody. Just take the shirt you normally wear and at least put it over your nose.
I've been asked. Well, sorry, I've asked that very question, and the answer they came back to me is the symbolism of do not speak. You're covering your mouth. You're losing your voice.
Because everything's fucking symbolism with these people. Like that, that's something that fucking matters. Like symbols are things that we decide are significant, for different reasons, right? There's not going to be any secret cabal going, hey, let's put our symbols all over everything so that only the smart people can figure it out. What? Nobody's doing that.
I can cover my face all day. I have a voice right here on my phone. Like right here. Right here.
No, it's true.
So fucking weird.
Well, that lady with the censored mask. I'm sorry, standing in front of the mic.
Oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yeah,
she's standing in front of the mic in the. I think it was in Congress, and she's got the
censored.
She's got the floor, and she's talking to Congress, and she's got censored. You got the biggest platform in the world, right? You don't think bigger would be like a rock and roll stage or something?
I was like, all the people losing it over Trump being censored. And I'm like, no. If you're in my house and you say some asshole shit and I tell you to get out, I'm not censoring you. I'm just telling you to leave my house.
Exactly.
Yeah, just like Facebook, Twitter, all of that. That's their house. And if they tell you to get out, you got to go. That's it.
That's it. Simple as that.
Censored. And now if I go to a government meeting and they open the floor and they say, you know what, you can't talk, then I've been censored.
Now we've got a problem. Yeah.
Now we have a problem. And until that point, we don't have a problem. The skeptic in me can argue, like, maybe we shouldn't shut down Trump's voice, right? Like, there's a slight argument there because he's also talking about opening up his own platform now. And so he's going to have this platform where everyone's just going there and listening to it's an even more disgusting echo chamber than they're already in.
Right.
So that's kind of my only little teensy weensy argument towards not banning him off.
I'd be, I get what you're saying. I feel like, though, has he ever been successful at anything though? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is this going to be like Frank? But
he will be here because he's got the attention now, because basically you have a president who comes into office who tells people all these crazy conspiracies. He tells them all that they're not crazy anymore. Someone in power told them they're not crazy. They are fans of him forever. I don't know why he hasn't opened up his own news network yet. That shit would blow up.
Well, it's not what Newsmax is. I don't know. I thought that was.
Why isn't there literally Trump news? That's it.
Oh,
Whole
yeah.
news network all day, 24/7 with just stuff only Trump signs off on.
But the thing is, people have a very short attention span. The longer Trump is on social media and not on TV, the less relevant he becomes. And right now, we are seeing him disappear slowly but surely. We were talking about this guy last year. We were talking about this guy every single day, several times a day. Now, if he's in the news once a week,
I'm surprised.
So it's a question of time. It's a race against time for him at this point.
For him, the mindset, you have to truly change that mindset. And it's just going to take another cultish leader that's going to come along and take
I'm just hoping. I'm just crossing my fingers and hoping there isn't somebody smarter than him that doesn't pick up the torch and run like him again. That's what I'm hoping.
Like Ron DeSantis? No.
Smarter than him, I said.
Like you didn't hear me when I said smarter? You didn't hear that word.
No,
and I would agree. But no, did you see the comment Kyle said? Critical thinking and skepticism.
I don't know about Kyle, but I will say that what you're saying there is starting to happen up here in Canada. They're actually
in school?
Good.
No shit, really? Well, let me read the comment real quick so that for the audio medium here. Critical thinking and skepticism need to be taught as a mandatory class in elementary school. That's how we end the conspiracy Trumpism ridden times we're in.
Absolutely.
Which I would agree.
What do you mean we're teaching this in school up here?
Yeah, they're actually
Elaborate.
I would have to do a quick Google search, but it is actually skepticism and healthy skepticism, and
my daughter wasn't taught that in school.
It's not like a class by itself.
Oh, okay.
But they're trying to teach kids now, to
critical thinking.
Yes, thank you. Critical thinking. Use critical thinking in everyday situations.
Right.
It's in its infancy.
That's awesome.
It's in its infancy, but it's a step there.
Well, this is why I'm all about pushing for science classes, because it's kind of a way to introduce that without directly slapping people across the face with it. Because if you tell them critical thinking, they're going to think you're just, you and your atheist agenda. Probably going to teach my kid to be homosexuals, because I hear these crazy arguments, right?
You're going to indoctrinate them.
But with science, you teach them kind of those critical thinkings, like let's use the scientific method. Let's look at all of the data sets and go from there. And so, science is big, but we need to focus more on the actual critical thinking.
That said, I think it's also very important for us to remember that there is the other side of the argument as well. Sometimes some people will use skepticism to the point that you're no longer a skeptic, you're a denier. Yeah, I know there are some things that are absolutely out there.
You can be an evidence denier. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. If you dismiss them right off the board, you're doing yourself a disfavor. I mean, some of them are saying, you know what, that sounds, but okay, let's keep an open mind. That I see a lot of people foregoing that step and just basically, it's crap right off the bat. And there's this nice saying that says, what gets us in trouble is not what we don't know. It's what we know for sure that just isn't so. And I think that's something that everybody needs to remember. Sometimes we think we have the answer, but then some new information comes up. I mean, history is full of this kind of stuff. Take, for example, the giant squid, the Kraken.
Oh, yeah.
If this panel had been here 100 years ago, would we be the one saying, oh, come on, that's bullshit. Sea monster, come on, giant squid, come on, it's stupid, right? Or would we be saying, well, there's some tales, there's not a lot of evidence. How, if you're honest with yourself, where would you be 100 years ago with that situation?
My buddy Joey was out there fishing and he saw this shit. Okay. Joey doesn't lie. Okay. He's a solid dude. Okay.
So it's you got to be careful. I mean, it's good to be a skeptic, but it's also, you have to remain an open mind, an open mind. Never, just right off the bat dismiss stuff, no matter how outlandish it can be.
Yeah, and it's I'm so glad Kyle's watching.
Oh,
I
yeah.
agree. There can be a fine line between skepticism and cynicism.
Kyle
And
agrees.
it's
Yes.
super
Thank
true.
you. Thank you.
That is very true.
I'll be here till
That
Thursday,
doesn't
10
happen
a.m.
very often. So
Yeah, well, or it happens too much because like then we have flat earthers and shit like that. They just, you know,
Oh, yes, don't believe all the hype. Everyone's told you the whole time the world is round.
it's
Yeah.
But
like,
it is not.
they
Have you
watched-
ever poured water onto a basketball? It doesn't stay. How does it happen on Earth?
that was the funniest.
And they
I got-
use fake evidence that's not actual evidence because they're only halfway there. It's like, yes, water on a basketball doesn't stay, but gravity doesn't function around the basketball the same way it does around the Earth.
'Cause
So
it's a tiny little dot
Science.
compared to the fucking
Right.
planet we're on. Like, you know, like
funniest
that
one I-
has gravity.
The one that
You
made me
fucking
laugh-
weirdo.
What made me laugh was this guy grabbed a round Nerf ball, and he dipped it in water. So he soaked it. It's a sponge essentially, right? And he says the Earth spins at 1,600 kilometers per hour. So he just spins it real fast. He just like gives it a twirl, and it just spins. And of course, all the water by centrifugal force just flies out. He says, "See, if the Earth was really spinning at 1,600 kilometers an hour, all the water would just fly away. The Earth is flat." And I'm just, oh my
That's
God.
the one. I swear I got tagged in that like
you're like, but your
100
sponge ball
times.
doesn't have an atmosphere nor the same gravity.
it
If you
doesn't have a density that allows it to have a gravity that would
if you were to
draw
grab
the.
the ball and grow the size of the Earth and spin it as fast as you did for that ball, that planet would be spinning like a
I mean,
top.
some of it might fling out due to the
Water
due to the lack of atmosphere, because the atmosphere does help push things down. As the last time we talked, the weight of clouds and the atmosphere above
Oh,
you.
that's right. We did go into the weight of clouds.
So yeah, so that actually does contribute to the whole thing. But yeah, of course, you can look at one set of facts and say, okay, using this bit of information, then I've disproved this.
Yeah.
But if you're like not looking at all the facts, and so I think that's the whole point, is to not be so just kind of, I'm right, this is the answer I want. And that's the hardest thing I think it is to fight, is stopping with the answer you want.
Right.
Yes.
And that was, and it's funny because like that used to be my thing. I remember like when I was a racist, and I remember like going, do more white people or black people get killed by cops? And I looked that up, and like the first like articles that came up were like, yeah, more white people get killed by cops, but the population, see, and I was like, yeah, no. And next. Oh, here's the article I like that one. That's the one that says that it's more white, and they're saying my argument. And it was like I would just look for the article, and once I and that was like one of the big things that kind of got me like thinking, was that once I realized that I was doing that on purpose, because I was like, no, I need this to be true. I need this to be true.
Yes.
And then I would like search through, and then, I would find the articles that agreed with me. Like, see, there you go. Look at this article, and they were like, but did you see the 17 fucking articles you passed? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you clearly skipped.
The emotional need for something to be for your bias to be vindicated is powerful.
Yeah.
I realize that.
Very powerful.
I'm pretty sure I've told you the story, Ben, but I'll tell it for Ben's sake. I realized that, especially in atheism, when as a kid, and still to this day, I've always loved dinosaurs. And of course, everybody's favorite dinosaur is T-Rex, right?
T-Rex, right?
Everyone loves T-Rex.
He's cool, man.
As a child, he was my buddy. I rode him into battle. I fought against him. He was my wow, he really was. So even as a kid, the animal, the way he was described was very different than what we have today. I don't know if you remember these little figurines that people used to have at King.
Oh, yeah.
The T-Rex was standing completely up and the tail dragging on the ground. We know today the animal is not like that. The image of the animal has changed. But at the time, and still to this day, we always think of T-Rex as the lion of its era, the lion of the Cretaceous.
Right.
Still, when Jurassic Park started coming out, one paleontologist named Jack Horner came out and says, no, T-Rex was essentially a scavenger. That hurt me. That actually hurt me physically. I did not want that to happen.
Like, I don't want this.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
I don't want T-Rex to be a vulture. I want T-Rex to be the lion. Well,
and it was renamed at one point to T-Rex to
Well-
kind of up the name to make it sound more prominent and special.
yes, of course, because
Yeah.
Tyrant Lizard, right?
So-
King of the Tyrants and Lizard. And
Yeah.
Oh, Tyrant. Yeah, that's true.
King, T-Rex, right? And this is how Christians view Jesus. They don't want Jesus to be dethroned. So it doesn't matter what kind of evidence you bring to them. They don't want him to be dethroned. It's an
Right.
emotional thing.
That's
You-
their hero.
It is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It requires an incredible leap of intellectual honesty and much more than most people have in themselves, because it was even tough for me. But as a skeptic today, I would, if they would actually come with actual proof and saying, you know what, T-Rex, yeah, he was a scavenger. It hurts. It really hurts.
And,
But I
as,
have-
and as Kyle commented, likely had feathers too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which that kind of fucked with me too, because I remember watching Jurassic Park 3, which was awful,
Mm.
awful movie.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't watch that.
So don't watch it. Right?
Don't do it.
Although T-Rex probably had like proto feathers, not like feathers.
Yeah, and I remember the Velociraptors starting
like
to
a
get like
peacock.
feathers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like,
Yeah,
what the
peacock
fuck?
of the T-Rex.
This is a bunch of evolution propaganda bullshit. That's what this movie is.
Evolution propaganda. Wow.
It's kind of funny because I remember years ago when I was driving a truck, and I remember going in the States, and of course it was Texas. It's always Texas for some reason. I always had a problem with Texans for some reason.
Oh, thank God, it's not
Wow.
Florida. All right, we're good.
No,
We're good.
it's true, man. Every time I heard it's always a Texan for some reason. I don't know why. No offense to Texas.
Florida and Texas are always in a dumbass off. You know
But-
what I mean? Like,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
just trying to dumbass
clearly
out
remember-
dumbass each other.
I can clearly remember having this argument with the guy. He's telling me that and he's looking me straight in the eye and he's basically saying, no, fossils and dinosaur bones are buried there by Satan to discourage you from reading the Bible. And I'm thinking, okay, really?
So I've heard a similar theory that
Wow.
actually God put the bones there so that we would have fake evidence, so that to prove that we actually had faith, because we have to have faith, like blind faith without fact.
That's still a hell of a leap.
And I've heard that.
It's
I've heard
similar,
it before.
though.
It's like God put dinosaurs here so that we would have faith.
What? Wow. Yeah, I see. For me, it was always like it was almost like the King Arthur stories and stuff. Where like, hey, they're fighting dragons in King Arthur, man. So
Mhm.
dinosaurs were here.
I've heard that.
We just rationalized it way different than that.
Yeah.
But
Well, I believe the argument is the word dinosaur didn't come in until the 1800 something. So before that, they used to call them something different, such as dragon, behemoth, and whatever else, right? So that's the argument. So they had dinosaurs on the ark. They were just not named dinosaurs because the word was only invented in the 1800 somewhere.
Oh.
why
So-
would they put them on the ark? I thought that's what killed them.
Yeah,
I don't know.
More there, man.
No.
There's so many.
Because I'm like,
It depends on your flavor here of Christianity again, what the story is.
yeah,
all
there's
right.
holes in all of Genesis. You could drive a truck through them.
Because, but in my head, I'm like, alligators still exist. They're cool with water.
Yeah.
You know,
Cool.
they're cool. And whales, they're pretty dinosaurishly. It's like, and
They're
so it's
large.
like the water stuff survived clearly. I mean, you got the what's that thing that's in the really deep thing in Ireland or whatever, or
The Loch Ness Monster.
Loch Ness. Yeah, thank you. You got that thing. He's still there. He's
He's
kicking.
cool. He's hanging
Oh, yeah.
out.
Like the global
That was
flood-
my rationale, like right there.
anything like a global flood would have happened, I don't think there'd be any freshwater creatures at all, because all the salt water would have mixed and killed everything that's fresh. Because there's much more salt water than fresh to begin with. So anything
Okay,
that
you're complicating things,
all right,
and
so-
I don't like your attitude. Okay, now.
And then there was a rainbow, and it was God's promise.
Yep.
yeah.
And then the homosexuals stole it.
Oh,
We totally did.
So
I can't believe they stole something from God.
That's God's promise.
All powerful beings.
So basically, okay.
God's
So the
just
way,
like,
the way I
"Oh,
look at it,
shit."
though, no. So basically, God is an abuser. He's like, I killed all y'all, but here's something pretty to make up for the bad I did.
I know, right?
Sorry.
Like that's 100% an abuser move.
Well, I mean, it's such a stupid story too, because if you are an all powerful being, why would you just disintegrate people? Why do you have to
Right.
flood the planet? I mean, you could just make it
Reason why
snap
you
them out
gotta
of
have
existence.
COVID for the COVID vaccine.
It's like, hold on, I got to figure out how to kill these people.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Shit.
it's like, you know, Old Testament God versus New Testament God, where he was like, I am angry, I will kill you, turned you into pillars of salt.
Oh wait, I love you.
And then he's like, you're cool, we're all good.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
here's my theory, right? He finally got laid.
And that's where Jesus came from.
And that's why he chilled the fuck out.
It's like, it cost me a rib, but you know what? I fucked hard.
He was like,
No,
oh my gosh, Mary, she was so good.
Oh, it's Mary, the 12-year-old Palestinian girl.
Oh.
Man. She was
Okay.
really good.
12?
But yeah, 12 for
I
the
mean,
game. She wasn't a
it's
woman, that's for sure. So it got a pedophile.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, he's pretty sick.
Well, at least he got laid.
You didn't get laid.
Yeah, I get it. Sound like you got lucky. Like you fucking, rape a poor woman
So God's like,
spiritually.
can't get any.
I don't know how that works.
He tries all the other goddesses like Aphrodite and all that, and it's just like, no,
They
it was
weren't, they weren't as cool.
I mean,
No.
like,
I mean,
if it's-
Zeus is kind of buff and everything, but Joe, come on, really?
if it's the Mormon God, he already done his thing and got his own God planet, so he's got like other folks to like chill with, I guess. I'm not 100% sure. I left real early before they taught me all the crazy stuff.
But you know what? I kind of like that Mormon heaven. I kind of like the idea of getting
So
my
you have
own
your-
planet.
But women
Right.
don't get their own planet.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah, but Sabrina doesn't like that idea.
Well, I get that.
Of
Hey,
course.
now you get
Oh,
to
my-
influence the creator of the planet. I mean, that's
Yeah.
Yeah,
something.
there you go.
What I always say with Sabrina and I mean, I make the big decision, she makes the small decision, but she gets to decide what's a big and a small decision. That's how it works.
It's
No,
cool.
this is a
You're-
big decision.
So you're gonna be like, when you're your own God, you're gonna be like, the people are gonna look like this. They're gonna have 4 arms, and she's like, okay, but their skin has to be pink.
Purple.
And you're like, okay, fine,
Purple.
purple, okay,
Purple people eater.
yeah.
That's why.
I mean, because our
Yeah.
God made us in His own image, but I'm not sure there's rules that you have to once you get to Mormon heaven.
That's so
If
I
we're
want
weird.
to go to Mormon
That
heaven.
is so weird.
If we're made in the image of God, he's got a really bad design. I mean, frankly.
Right, like highly inefficient. Like I breathe through my food hole.
That's very
That's a bad plan.
That's yeah, that ensures that several of us choke to death every year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody, thanks for watching, bud. Thank you.
Bye, Kyle.
right.
Night, buddy. Cool dude.
Yeah.
I like Kyle. Good dude.
How are you still
Okay,
awake, Brent?
now that he's gone, let's trash him.
All right. So about Kyle, anyway.
Oh my God, that Kyle guy, he said words.
Take them properly in full sentences.
And he barely used any all caps. I can't
I
believe
know. Just to make his point there, when
Lame.
he's like "and" with the capitalized, but that's about it.
Exactly. He even said criticism right.
Oh,
Correct punctuation. What a
like all my
what
conservative,
the
Trash.
all my conservative values are outraged by this.
thank goodness he's not watching this. All right.
Sorry.
Watch him come back. So you bastards! I turn my back to you and trash me.
I spend an hour listening to you for what?
Oh, he's back. Oh, he's never mind. We're just
Whoa,
kidding.
whoa, whoa.
Sorry, sorry,
We
sorry.
love Kyle. Kyle.
Oh, you guys.
Oh man,
We weren't saying anything. You were the one saying stuff.
I wasn't saying that.
Wow.
What are you talking about?
No, not us. Him.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know. It still made me a little uncomfortable, though.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man,
You're right. The body
That's
is
so
a
funny.
poor design. Who was it? Neil deGrasse Tyson that said the thing that said who came up with the idea of putting the pleasure center right next to the sewer system?
Right?
Right. And it takes a minute to adjust, even for guys. I mean, we're just like, it feels weird to pee. I'm just saying. That's probably your balls.
Hard-hitting
Just like,
subject
hold
in
on.
this podcast today, that's for sure.
What are we doing here?
Hard truth, it feels weird to pee. Where are you on this?
Like overall?
Yeah, you're like you. It's kind of hard to pee after you.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Like you have to switch.
I thought you meant all the time.
Your body has to be like, oh wait, are you peeing or coming? What are you doing? Okay, we're going over here. You know, that's what your body has to
Well,
do.
that's another bad design. Is both those things come out of the same place?
Exactly. Yeah.
Brent,
In fact,
if you
they
reach
say you
under,
should.
if you reach
go
under, there's a switch. Just reach under. Pee
Get a little
mode.
switch down there.
Okay, so that was like a dad joke, but a creepy dad joke. And we all had that friend that had that creepy dad, right? Who would make those jokes to us, and you're like, don't
Be like, elbowing you.
Right. Right.
You know. They always laugh like that too.
Oh, great.
Oh, yeah, that breathy laugh.
Yeah, that's great. That's just great. That's what I need.
You feel called out, Kevin.
I feel attacked. Yes, I do feel attacked. I didn't mention it.
I was gonna wake up Nikki. You know. Oh my god.
Yeah, so you're gonna let her out of the closet eventually, or is it the basement you put her in?
She's tight somewhere.
So every now and again, you're like, "All right, honey, now you can do an episode."
I think he's probably covered by now, and he just activates her body like, once.
Oh, like Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Nikki, she's asleep somewhere. Yeah.
She knows things that I don't know way too much for that to be the case. But
Yeah, Nikki's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited to get. I can't wait to get her on with all of us. So that'll be kind of fun.
Well, untie her.
Yes, that's what I've been saying this whole time.
We
She
demand
thinks that-
that Nikki.
I think Nikki actually sleeps normal hours, though.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not a vampire like Brent.
And she thinks it's hot to be tied up, but I'm just saying, like, it's not.
Oh, okay.
Hey, don't let the chain.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, but tie up.
Brent's like, I can't do it early because I have my Shibari course. So
I don't know what shibari is, but I like the way you say it. That's a southern thing. We
Look
say
it
that
up.
down here.
Shibari, it's a small barbecue. No, that's hibachi. That's
oh,
No.
that's not
What
so
the
small.
fuck is a shibari? What is that? What is a shibari?
It's a certain way of rope tying that is
Oh.
sensual.
Oh.
Look it up.
Start with twist ties first.
I mean, I guess you
I feel
could.
like I should know
You
this.
start with
Like, that's
twist
weird,
ties
man.
and escalate to zip ties.
Yeah.
No, it's better than that.
I just go with each leg of the bed gets a different limb.
Yeah, and once you're tied down, what happens?
You know what I mean?
Okay, I'm not sure I need to be.
Lots of stuff. I don't know. I want to go into it, but
We just got into like unapologetics after hours here.
I think we should just put the sound effect of the Exorcist there. The power of Christ compels you.
I mean, how did you
Way to
know
make
my
me
kink,
not
Kevin?
come. Like, come on.
Oh, man. I'm tuning in for this.
Well, thank you all so much for doing this panel. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think we're coming up on our time expiration, and I'm just gonna force it at this point.
Wow.
But-
Wait, which? Okay.
What are we forcing?
The comments of Brent are not
The
necessarily
end of the episode. That's what yeah.
Okay.
self upon
So-
us. That's what it's doing.
All good things must come to an end.
That's right.
It's come to an end. Yes.
Yeesh.
Where are you?
Quit misspelling the words
Kevin,
that we're
Kevin.
saying out loud.
Groan.
But we have this outro, right? Where we say, what do we say to the haters, discriminators, and masturbators, shamers? Right? And then we all say together, I don't know how we're going to do this, fuck off, right?
That's gonna be real hard because there's a bit of a lag.
Well, we'll figure it out. I don't know. We'll do our best.
Should I do it loudly and really close to the microphone?
Yeah.
Maybe you should and go like fuck off. Fuck off,
If you
fuck
like.
off.
Oh, I'm gonna make. Oh, yes. I'm gonna design that. Fucking yes. All right, we're gonna do that at some point. But
I'll
all
do
right,
the,
yeah.
the deeper register. I'll do the fuck off.
There you go. You're the bass. You're the bass. 'Cause
In the
it's all
middle.
about that bass. About that bass. About that bass. No treble. Fuck treble. I agree.
Which
But
is
anyway.
bad audio editing, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
It's only sometimes like this. You know, but anyway. So what do we say to the haters, discriminators, and masturbator shamers? Fuck off. Yeah, actually, we're